The second day. Dawn of the second day.
Oh my.
Oh shit, here comes the moon. It's gonna kill us.
What?
Spoilers for Majora's Mask. It's a good game.
Never played it. In fact, I have never played any Legend of Zelda game.
I've only played Majora's Mask, and it was playing with a friend who knew the game back to front and could show me everything.
We've just absolutely ruined our internet cred.
What do you mean? I have, if anything, raised mine.
Have you?
For getting someone else to play. Look, I did all of the like puzzles like in the town, and my friend did all of the actual dungeons that were
What
difficult
was the
to
name
do.
of the town, Ben?
Clock Town. Clock Tower Town? Clock Town. No, Clock Town. That sounds right.
Okay.
Point is, I got those motherfucking people together. The guy and I don't remember their names, but point is, I got them together. It was great. It was pure love.
That's good. That's good.
I'm
glad. I'm glad that we will never recover from this shame.
Those of you who played Majora's Mask, we're recording by the way. Those of you who played Majora's Mask know what I'm talking about. Those
What do you mean we're recording? By the way, I'm the one that hit the record button.
I know, but I'm just making sure that we are all aware of the situation.
Okay.
That those two lovebirds, beautiful love story, and I got them together. It took me like a bazillion tries, and I saved the postman. That fucking postman who just doesn't want to give up his job. He's too dedicated.
Sounds wonderful, Ben.
Go play Majora's Mask, guys. It's a roller coaster of emotions.
Who is this? What's happening?
That's an excellent question. I think this is Battler, if I remember correctly, but I'm not certain. Do you want to take it?
I'd guess so as well.
Yeah, let's give that a shot.
Was it someone's alarm clock? You do the beeps.
Beep, beep.
Hey there, Sakataro, alarm clock edition.
Beep, beep, are you? Star.
Fuck off.
An electronic tone repeatedly rang out through the room. Battler, who had gone to bed late and not managed to get enough sleep, perfect, nailed it, covered his head in his blanket and waited for someone.
I wonder why he'd gone to sleep late.
He was talking about the fucking headship.
No.
What?
No.
Covered his head in his blanket and waited for someone to turn off the alarm. But no matter how much time passed, the electronic tone didn't stop.
See. Point of alarm clock isn't just to be loud enough to wake you, but to be annoying enough to keep you from wanting to fall back asleep. That alarm's going off. Make it stop, please. Why do waking up voices always get this annoyed? Does make sense. After all, people are still sleepy and in a bad mood. However, there was absolutely no sign that my annoyed voice had caused anyone to turn over in their sleep or crawl out of bed to stop the alarm. Letting out a deep sigh, I stumbled to my feet. With the shutters down on the windows, there was almost no light getting in, and the room was dim as it had been earlier. Oh, even without the shutters, there's no way this dull weather would let in enough sun to make this a pleasant morning. Cousins were still wrapped up in their beds, sound asleep and taking no notice whatsoever of that beeping. Normally, once any person gets up, the others tend to automatically follow. Annoyed that this law of serial summer camp awakenings that I'd made up had been broken, I searched for the source of the sound. Hear it coming from a wristwatch set on a table. Judging by the style of the watch, it was probably Georgianiki's. Interesting.
Yep.
I just find it strange that after like 6 years away, he recognizes the style of George's watch. I know
that watch. I've seen it in my dreams.
He recognizes the style of George's watch, but doesn't just recognize it as his watch.
George is a fancy man. Everyone knows he walks around in style. He got that oomph.
I guess.
When he walk, everybody know it George as he walk. With his watch.
Anyway, when I randomly pushed the small button on the side of it, the sound stopped. Apparently it had been set for 7 o'clock in the morning. Is it already 7 o'clock? Sorry, but I really don't feel like I slept at all. Playing cards were left on the table as though they'd stopped mid-game. The game had probably been sevens. Lots of sevens going on?
Yeah. It's a good number.
Damn it, I got this piercing headache. What the hell happened last night? The amount of gold and the subsequent argument between the relatives will feel like a bad dream. So stupid. Breakfast normally came at 8 o'clock. Now wasn't a bad time to start getting up and getting dressed. Even those adults probably won't argue in front of the cousins. In that case, I'll stay with my cousins all day long. I'm sure they'll be able to separate me from all this annoying talk about the gold and being successor and all. In fact, I should have done this from the beginning. I felt disgusting having slept with my clothes on last night, which caused me to get all sweaty. Guess I'll take a shower. I'm sure the others will want to as well. This age, it's embarrassing to wake them by shaking their shoulders. If I turn the TV on, everyone will probably wake up. Well, let's at least turn the lights on for now. In this dim light with the quiet sound of the never-ending wind and rain, it really doesn't feel like morning has come yet. Flipped the light switch, and then that dimly lit morning ended. Was that meant to be surprising?
I don't know.
I feel... I was just like... so... unsurprised just then. I wasn't expecting it, but just the moment it faded up, I'm like, oh yeah, of course, it's the first morning.
Here we go. Dawn of the second day. Alright, let's do it.
George!
This is just too horrible. How could anyone get away with something like this?
As they clung to Aniki's corpse, who should never wake up again, Aunt Ava and Uncle Hideyoshi cried.
That's enough. Do you think George would like the two of you to see him this way? Of course not. Aneki, I know how you feel, but let's have Dr. Najo handle this.
You don't understand. George was killed. George! George!
Dr. Najo's right. We mustn't keep staring at George in such a state. This is for George's sake. We have to restrain ourselves for now.
Aunt Ava tried even harder to cling to that corpse. Then Uncle Hideyoshi dragged her away and had a heated debate with her beside the wall. Oh, George. Dr. Najo, help him. If he's lost too much blood, do a blood transfusion. George and I are the same blood type. I beg you, Dr. Najo.
Ava-san, it pains me to say this. It pains me to say this, but your blood can't do George any good now.
Trigger happy. Dr. Najo shook his head slightly, then nodded across to where I stood, giving me a signal. I softly pulled the blanket up, covering George Aniki's corpse.
Rip.
His neck was split wide open. This is a new version of this theme. Also, we didn't get a tip.
No, not yet. We'll get it. Don't worry.
Normally, we get it like as soon as someone's
As soon as what?
is described.
As soon as... Is that true?
Yeah.
When do we normally get them, I wonder?
We normally get them when a reliable person comes along to look at the corpse.
When someone finds the corpse.
Listen, I'm
It's
not
usually
saying
when
that
Batman
I'm not
finds the
saying that I
corpse.
staged that reaction to try to emphasize how correct I think I am.
Sure.
But like, come on, this is becoming too easy.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, won't we?
His neck was split wide open, was probably larger and deeper than his mouth. Would covering that part up make the corpse look neat and clean? Of course not. A large amount of lost blood stained the bed horrible red and black. Even covering him with the blanket couldn't hide the traces. After all, even the blanket had large red-black stains. And covering him up with it made his corpse look even more gruesome. So I stripped the blanket off my bed and placed it over the top of the first one. There are only 2 extra blankets, so if we covered one more of the corpses, we wouldn't be able to cover any more. I feel bad about the ones we can't cover, but for some reason, times like these made me feel like muttering, "Don't complain about it being unfair" inside my head.
Kyrie, put blankets over all of them. Wouldn't want them to catch cold. Sure.
Kyrie-san and I started covering up the other corpses to their heads with blankets, just like George Aniki's, so that they wouldn't have to undergo any more shame or their terrible wounds exposed like this. In one bed rested Jessica. Jessica was exactly the same as George Aniki, but she appeared to be resting quietly in the bed. Her neck had been sliced deep, and the wound lay open in a brutal way. Maria was the same. And not only Maria, there was one more victim. Lying on the same bed as though they'd been sleeping alongside each other was Aunt Rosa.
There they are.
George Aniki, Jessica, Maria, and Aunt Rosa. In this room were 4 humans who'd been killed, their necks sliced open. They'd probably been like that since last night. Let's have a look.
Okay, so yeah, the tips are here.
Alright, so
Those identified the corpses.
these are all the same as before, right?
Yeah, they'll be the same. We just gotta, fast forward in the future, in a sense, so yeah. The 4 corpses in the guest house.
They'd probably been like that since last night. I'd returned without noticing anything, gotten in bed and fallen asleep. All of them had a horizontal cut across their throats. Being forced to see all the way into the depths of those gashes in everyone's throats. At worst, the wounds might have been deep enough to stretch halfway through their necks. If you tried to open it up, you'd probably be able to see that gash reached all the way to the bone. The only wounds were the single gashes on each neck. So if you just covered their necks with your hand, you might be able to persuade yourself that they were merely sleeping. That was a butchering of that word. I'm struggling.
It's okay, I
But
believe in
even
you.
so, this fightingly deep wound was incredibly gruesome.
It's the stress of the situation, I understand.
There's no such thing as clean or dirty ways of killing. All methods of killing are equally brutal. Even so, the brutality here was just horrible. There was one more thing that adorned these brutal murders, making them even more unsettling. Drawn very large on the wall was something like an eerie magic circle. It was drawn in a bright red paint that looked like blood, and made it look as though some creepy ceremony had taken place in this room, with the 4 of them offered as human sacrifices. However, that wasn't what we were concerned about. No one has a heart so cold they could witness the deaths of those so close to them, and still worry about some scribbles on the wall. What was that knock? Oh, look.
Yo, what up, girl?
Everyone's favorite character.
Best girl.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, what a wonderful magic circle.
What a fucking line that is. It's like,
This is great.
oh, sorry, your entire fucking family is dead.
I hope you're ready for this
Nice
scene.
painting.
This is great. This is a great scene.
Girl who bragged that she drew more pleasure from the process of exposing the truth than the truth itself, and it went so far as to call herself an intellectual rapist, appeared in the hall. When she saw the extraordinarily creepy magic circle in this gruesome room, I heard what was unmistakably a sigh of admiration escape her lips. You don't come in here.
I just heard about it in the corridor. It's 4 people who've passed away, correct? Allow me to express my sincere regrets.
On Erica's face, no, that's not it. It was in her eyes. In Erica's eyes, I could see an indiscreet smile that was hard to describe. She found this interesting. She found the outbreak of a crime interesting. It was like the smile of a kid off to the side of a stage just before her turn to appear in a school play.
So, Erica-chan, we're busy at the moment. Would you wait in your room?
Well, we can't have that. It's the detective's right to investigate the scene.
We're saying that we have no business with you. Now's the time for outsiders like you to stand back.
In my personal opinion,
I'm sorry, I have to look at his face and you're like so confused as to what it's meant
She's
to be.
winking. She's winking.
It's just
real hard.
such a disgusting wink.
I think that's the intent.
In my personal opinion, only third-rate mysteries have a suspect who tries to interfere with the investigation and then turns out to be the culprit.
It's official, Battler is a third-rate mystery villain.
Oh, damn.
Who gives a damn about what you want? Get out! You're wanted here.
Erica-chan, I'm really sorry, but could you go back to your room? We're busy right now.
George.
Stand back. I can't investigate the scene like this.
If it's necessary, we'll do it ourselves. The police will do it. Like hell you have the right to bring more shame to everyone's remains than they've already endured.
Detective's authority. The detective has the right to inspect all crime scenes. Stand back, Oshumiya Butler. This is an official privilege of this game, which the human side has accepted.
It's fucked up.
Yay, breaking the wall.
One of the many fourth walls?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
There's just a corridor of fourth walls that are being broken.
You break one down, there's another one in the way.
It's great.
And it's like, no, they're like, it's like the fucking Get Smart entrance scene where there's all of the doors that collapse.
Yeah, totally.
And like each layer of the reality is just one door further.
Yeah, it's basically this.
Those words, which seemed to be utterly ridiculous at first, were words of power that had come from a world on a much higher plane than the one they were in.
Oh, Battler was thrown back by an unseen power and landed on his butt. Struck silent by his quiet intensity, nobody was able to prevent Erica from entering the room, suffocated by the bizarre atmosphere.
Don't worry. My goal is not to profane the dignity of the deceased. It's not like I want to peek into something as disgusting as a slit through someone's neck. I want to know something completely different. In other words, who committed these murders? I asked Dr. Najo and everyone else too. In particular, the first one to discover them, Butler-san. There are many things I want to question you about, so I request your cooperation.
Like I said, by what authority are you doing this?
Because I am the detective.
Battler couldn't argue against this incomprehensible nonsense. No, he wasn't permitted to argue. It was a restriction placed on pieces. Erica summoned Dr. Najo and heard the details of his preliminary examination of the corpses. Normally, he wouldn't have...
Are we gonna get them? Are we gonna be able to hear them?
I mean, we heard a little bit about it, but normally he wouldn't have spoken of that to an outsider so casually. However, for some reason, the atmosphere about the place had become one in which hiding things from Erica was forbidden.
Okay, let's enjoy this first twilight of Lambdas. 4 corpses, that's 2 corpses short. Well, she doesn't necessarily need to have 6 people killed, but that's how we've been playing. That girl isn't completely clueless, so she must have killed 2 more people somewhere. On the wall was a magic circle representing the first Twilight, similar to the ones in Beatrice's games. That girl talks tough, but I wonder just how closely she'll be able to imitate Beato. That Hebrew sure is crappy. It isn't written exactly right.
What the heck? What's going on? Why is there a magic circle? I'll bet they wanted to copy Beatrice-sama. What a crappy magic circle. This isn't just a copycat. Some human went out of their way to draw that so they could make it look like Beatrice-sama did this. Anyway, let's report to Beatrice-sama about this. Even though we're already up to our eyeballs just protecting Goldsmith's secret, what a pain. These murders have no beauty to them at all. It isn't really a closed rumor, there's nothing impossible about it. Such pitiful murders aren't worthy of Beatrice-sama at all. Furuto Erica, an unexpected crime and an unexpected woman, and the unexpected man from 19 years ago. And if you add in the fact that Battler's already solved the epitaph, this game is completely different from normal. What the heck's going on? Let's go. Yes, One-sama!
Bye, ladies.
Bye. What the fuck was that cutaway for?
I don't know.
I'm very confused.
Well, like, it's weird that there's a murder happening, but apparently Beatrice isn't responsible. So what? What is happening? In the kitchen.
I mean,
it's a great question. In the kitchen, Gerda was preparing a wonderful breakfast at a brisk pace. The main dish would be herb omelets. Even simple foods could become an invigorating feast under Gerda's skillful hands. He would pre-cook everything beforehand and prepare the food in the dining hall right before everyone's eyes. Pun, 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 pun. Gerda hummed as he continued his work in high spirits. When Shannon, who was helping out, saw Gerda like this, her mood was also brightened. She arranged the salad in a neat little pattern and showed it to Gerda.
How is this? I think it makes the tomato look a bit cute.
Very nice. You really know what you're doing, Shannon-san.
This is a contrast to previous Gerdas.
It's great. The 2 happy people give each other a high five.
That was terrible.
Do it. Shit.
Fucking,
It's so you have to do it.
There's no room here.
There's no room. Hold on.
Okay.
One more try. Yeah, that was better.
Fucking atrocious. We're never doing that again.
Shannon didn't like
There's
Gerda
like
when he
barely enough room for me to swing my
There's
arm
not enough
here.
room to actually get momentum in to make a nice.
The other thing is that you have the mic stand right in front of
I
where your
know.
arm should be.
And there's tea everywhere.
I have all of this free space on the wrong side
What
of the
if I
microphone.
just hold my hand here and you just...
Hold on. There we go.
I wonder if that made it in at all. I hope so.
I hope so.
Anyway, Shannon didn't like Gerda when he was sneaky, but she had no problems at all with him when he was cooking happily. She sometimes even thought it'd be nice if his contract hadn't included any jobs besides cooking. If that had been the case, he wouldn't have had to get in a bad mood doing unnecessary jobs. Oh, the dining hall is ready! You can carry it in whenever you want. We're almost good to go, so please get the serving cart ready. Without thinking, even Kumasawa caught Gerda's high spirits. The kitchen had a very nice smell and atmosphere about it, truly refreshing for so early in the morning. Then, Cannon came back, grumpy even this early in the morning, just like he always was. Cannon and Genji were in charge of getting many things ready for the morning, such as opening the curtains. However, Cannon was alone today, so it had taken much longer than usual. I'm done. Where's Genji-sama?
He still isn't here. That's odd. I can't imagine he'd sleep in.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. I guess even Genji-san sleeps in sometimes. That's rather careless of him, considering that this is the middle of the family conference.
I swear, if I ever meet someone who actually speaks like this in real life, I'm fucking running the other way.
Cannon-san, could you wake him for us? Yes. I wonder what Genji-san's face looks like when he's half asleep. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Let me go with you. Even though Gerda had asked her to get the serving cart ready, Kumasawa plodded off after Cannon, slyly skipping work. Oh, Kumasawa, you classic girl. As Cannon muttered about how Gerda was the one who slept in all the time, he headed for the servant waiting room. So, you didn't wake him up this morning, Ganon-san? Last night, I fell asleep while still in the servant room, so I didn't return to the waiting room.
Last night, Kenan had dozed off while in the middle of his late-night shift, falling asleep in the servant room. Shannon had been kind enough to put a blanket on him, but that had just made it so warm that he fell into an even deeper sleep. So he hadn't returned to his bed in the servant waiting room the previous night. Because of that, he hadn't met Genji even once this morning. There was a knock on the door.
Genji-sama, it's Kanon. Good morning. Oh my, I wonder if he's still sleeping. Pardon me.
When he tried to open the door, Kenan noticed something strange on the upper part of it.
What's that?
Packing tape. A small strip of packing tape was stuck along the frame of the door.
I almost feel like this is a reference to something because it's a very peculiar setup, but I have no idea what it could possibly
I
be.
don't know. Strange packing tape. Almost as though it was sealing the door shut. Furthermore, there were notches made with scissors along the center of the packing tape, so that if you open the door only a slight amount, it would be torn apart. Also, written sloppily across the packing tape with the thin pen was what appeared to be someone's signature. It was written in a very intricate and decorative manner, so even if it was a signature, there was no way of telling whose it was.
It's probably some sort of prank. I don't get it, but it's no use worrying about it now. Genji-sama, pardon me.
The packing tape tore apart and he opened the door. It wasn't as though anything happened when it split, so the two quickly forgot about that strange tape. The room was dimly lit. The lower bed of the two-level bunk bed still had a lump under the blanket. Apparently, Genji was still sleeping.
Good morning, Genji-san. This isn't like you, ho ho ho. It's morning, gee, I hope you're not dead. Genji-sama. Eek, what is this? What is this?
That was a quick tip.
Rip Genji. Neck sliced open.
It hasn't changed from when we last saw it.
It's all the same. Yeah, let's go. There was a large red-black stain on the blanket.
This is the kind of music I need with murder.
It's perfect. The perfect tone. Even the servants' blankets were always kept clean. A stain like that definitely shouldn't have been there. Kanon hesitantly peeled back Genji's blanket, saw what was left of him, and was shocked into silence. Not pleasant.
What the heck? His neck's been cut open. It's thin. You wouldn't be able to leave a cut this deep without a fairly long blade. What's going on? Battler solved the riddle of the epitaph, right? Why are there murders happening? I don't know, in any event, this isn't good. We should report this to Beatrice-sama and Natsuhi-sama. Belfa, hurry and report to Lucine. Understood.
After dashing out, Kumasawa called Goda and Shannon over. Then, this new pair let out screams identical to the first two.
No, don't stop making breakfast, Goda! It's not really the time to be saying that.
Definitely.
There's no chance they'll have a quiet and peaceful breakfast on the second day. I have a bad feeling about this. Genji might not be the only one. Let's check the entire mansion. Something else might have happened. Yes, One-sama.
Yeah, we need a sixth corpse. Natsu sprang awake at the sudden sound of the phone. Even Natsu was surprised that she'd woken up. She'd thought she'd spent the whole night unable to sleep out of fear that the mysterious man might come in at any moment, but she dozed off before she knew it. Of course, Natsu still didn't feel rested at all. Though she groaned from the dull pain in her head, which hadn't gone away once since last night, she managed to get out of bed.
Morning, Natsuhi-sama.
Morning? And what a horrible morning it is.
Don't worry, no one tried to enter this room.
I see. Thanks for keeping watch all night. Even so, that didn't mean she'd be able to sleep peacefully. The continued ringing of the phone made her headache throb even more strongly.
I think you should probably answer the phone. And then, I've got some bad news to report from my sisters.
Let's leave the bad news for later. I'll answer the phone first. Natsu shook her head to wake herself and picked up the receiver. Then she regretted not listening to Lucifer's bad news first, because she wanted the first thing she heard on this horrible morning to be something better than this.
Morning, Mother. Did you sleep well?
I love that accent. That voice.
told her this horrible morning, this nightmare would not stop.
I love doing this voice. It has a soft spot in my heart.
I know. I kept my promise.
Even though it doesn't fit at all.
No, it's fine. I've been holed up in this room the whole time. Of course, I haven't been on the phone either.
But you did pick up the phone just now, did you not?
Well, rude.
Just kidding. This is just a morning call I am giving my beloved mother. Morning, mother.
How far do you intend to mock me? Nazi gripped the receiver so hard it creaked.
I want you to leave your seat so that I could set up for the party. Thanks to that, everything is ready for now. Of course, you're the main guest, mother.
What are you planning to do?
That's for you to look forward to. Don't worry. I'll not keep you waiting. It's already begun. Alright, wait a sec. There's something I want you to hear.
Ah? There was the sound of the receiver being jolted around. The phone was apparently being passed to someone else, but there was a clunking, clattering noise, as though it was taking a lot of effort to hand the receiver over. Who in the world could he be giving the phone to? No matter who this man gives the phone to, that can't be good news for me. Kraus. I'm gonna let you know this is Kraus.
Did he die in the original tips?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Who was the other one that died in the original tips?
I don't know.
There's Cousins, Rosa, Genji. I forget who else.
That's alright. But yeah, this is Kraus.
Untie me, coward.
Huh? Dear, is that you?
Untie it.
It was, without a doubt, the voice of her husband. However, he did respond to Nazi's voice. Perhaps he was bound somewhere in the darkness. Kraus, not realizing that Nazi was on the other end of the phone, repeatedly demanded that he be untied.
Your husband is here. His eyes and ears are covered so you won't be able to talk, but I think you can tell that he's in perfect health.
What are you after? Let my husband go!
I'll let him go tomorrow. If you keep 2 promises, that is.
What are they?
One is that you keep it a secret that I have your husband in my care. There'll probably be a fuss when they're unable to find Kraus anywhere in the mansion. But you know nothing, so you'll say nothing. Understand?
I understand. What's your other condition?
Oh, just a little game. At 1 o'clock today, you'll go into the foremost guest room on the first floor of the mansion and hide in the closet, so I can frame you for murder.
A guest room? Why should I go into a closet?
Just a little hide and seek. If you can hide there for an hour without anyone finding you, you win. If someone does find you, you lose.
And if I lose, what happens?
Nothing in particular. Is that not what playing is all about? If you play along with this hide and seek, I'll release your husband tomorrow.
Will you really keep that promise, I wonder?
Of course. Make sure you do too, mother. If you break our promise, I'll know right away.
At that time, there was suddenly a loud knock on the door to Nazi's room. Her heart leapt automatically.
Genji's dead, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, of course, what am I thinking? Cannon then, maybe. I know, hit the next line button. Madam, are you there? Good morning! It's Gerda and Cannon. Madam, please wake up. The voice is coming from across the door where Cannon's and Gerda's.
I feel like you got it the wrong way around.
You know what? I had a good time doing it.
Because Gerda would have been the one to introduce himself first.
You know what?
Cannon.
It's fine. I enjoyed it. The knock had been wild, and the voice is a little shrill. It seemed that something strange had happened, that they were agitated. What is it? Did something happen?
It's nothing. Looks like the servants have arrived. I'm hanging up.
Sure. I have said everything that I wanted to, so... Oh.
What? Oh, we got the... Oh, point... Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Points.
Ah, no.
Points.
Now you're fucking up. That was Nazi.
So it was
right,
mysterious
right.
voice, Nazi.
It was him asking her, like, did something happen? That's fine, you pick it up. How many points, I wonder, does Ryugishi have at this point?
Fucking too many.
I'm scared.
Pop the counter up. Anyway, that's 2 points away.
Yep, and half a can of cola.
Well, that's already there. We're not giving another half today.
What? It's stingy.
I can't afford this much coke. Sure, I've said everything I wanted to, so do not break our promise.
I understand. And you don't break our promise either.
Yeah, what's wrong? That is for you to decide, Mother. Do not make me break my promise, Mother.
Ugh.
I'll be watching you all day today, Mother.
Clank. Lambda Delta slammed the receiver down on the antique phone. Then the phone exploded into bits and became a golden splash, then a cloud of butterflies, and then disappeared.
Dance for me, Nasty. Dance in fear of your sin 19 years ago. My turn's going pretty well. Okay, your turn now, Burn.
It's quick. We're like smashing through these scenes. I'm sure this is a waste of time, but let me confirm whether correspondence with the outside world, including reporting to the police, is possible or not.
It's impossible to make use of the external line. Looks like you can use the internal line. It's impossible to use a boat inside the Typhoon. I guess the closed circle is complete now. Congrats, you're a full detective now, Burn.
When the police intervene, they sometimes steal some of the detective's authority. However, with the construction of the closed circle, the existence of police had been denied for all eternity. From now on, the authority of the detective peace will be totally guaranteed. Yeah, thanks a bunch. Then I guess it's time to get this game started. Erica, you're the main character. Now, begin.
Yeah, fuck you, Butler!
Even Genja-san, 5 people have been killed?
Yes, and it was so horrible.
It was exactly the same as the 4 in the guest house. The neck was sliced open with a terribly sharp blade. To think that even though I had the midnight shift, I didn't notice anyone suspicious.
Don't blame yourself. If you bumped into the culprit, you might have been the one dead right now.
On top of that, the phones aren't even connecting. I doubt any boats will come in this weather. This is serious.
And that makes it very likely the culprit's still nearby.
Eek! And what? Does that mean we'll be trapped here with a murder until the typhoon passes and the boat comes?
It will be okay. If we all stay together like this, even the culprit won't be able to lay a finger on us.
Even Jessica, I can't believe it.
We won't let ourselves be killed. I'll avenge George. I won't let them get away. No matter who the culprit is or what their reason was, I won't let the one who killed George get away. I'll kill them.
Okay, everyone, are you done crying yet? Silence, please. Has anyone seen Krausan yet?
We've been calling him for a while, but he hasn't answered.
Could the receiver be off the hook?
No, we could hear it ringing. There's no way he didn't hear it. What does it mean? You don't think Uncle Kraus too?
Figures. I hate to say it at a time like this, but there were 4 in the guest house plus Genji to make 5. I figured there would be one more.
Why? How could you know that? Are you the culprit? Did you kill George?
Stop it, Ava-san. Now is not the time.
Ava got agitated and grabbed at Kyrie. Najo stepped in between them and it grew into a bit of a scuffle. Watching this, Erica smiled condescendingly and shrugged. Of course. It's natural you'd guess there were 6 victims after seeing the crime scene in the guest house. There were only 4 corpses, so it would make you wonder who the other 2 were.
How could you know such a thing? You killed them? You killed George?
Quit it, Ava! Erica-chan, Kyrie-san, how can you know that? Can't you think before you talk?
It's a simple connection to make. The scribble drawn at the scene of the crime in the guest house was a magic circle. I just tried to think of things connected to both magic and murders.
Ah, so it's the epitaph, huh?
Oh, I see. It's the first twilight.
What's going on? Well, I don't have a clue either. Is that how it is? That damn witch.
So this is really Beatrice Sama's doing. Why do you all keep talking as if you know someone? I don't have a clue. Someone explain.
I told you, Ava, calm down a bit.
Still silent.
Silence.
Yeah. That's how it is. Ever since I saw the magic circle at that crime scene, I imagine this might be a plotline murder following the epitaph's first twilight, which would mean there are 6 victims. Simply by the existence of the magic circle in that place, this level of reasoning is possible for Fruit or Erica. What do you think, everyone?
So Uncle Kraus was also killed.
We can't be sure of that. Kraus-san isn't the only person who hasn't come here, right? There's one more.
For just an instant, Natsu's brow furrowed.
So she hadn't been able to avoid the topic of the study after all. You don't mean Dad? Oh God, I have no clue who it is.
I don't know either.
I mean, I feel like Rudolph's a good choice.
Yep, go with Rudolph.
You don't mean Dad? Hey, someone must have contacted the study, right?
Of course we called and even knocked on the door, but there was no answer.
Father is immersing himself in his research. He sometimes leaves the receiver off the hook because he doesn't want to be called and even ignores any knocking.
But the phone was ringing.
Anyway, let's first check to see that my husband's safe. Let's go to his room. Nazi stood up in a flurry and dashed out into the corridor. Rudolph and the others immediately chased after her, telling her to wait, and that she was acting very suspicious. Come on, let's all go together.
Here's the thing is that if Natsui is the culprit in this one, it's like just too fucking obvious.
Uh-huh.
So she's clearly being staged here.
Think so? You think that's what's going on?
Clearly. I just don't know who.
We'll see,
Because Battler can't be the culprit because Red Truth.
Yep.
And it can't be previous culprit because she would keep her promises of not killing under the epitaph. Unless, of course, we're playing the ruse game again.
The ruse game?
My suggestion for episode 4 when
Oh,
no one
where,
actually
like-
died
right.
to start with.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It seems pretty clear they're dead, but we'll see.
I mean, we're seeing this from Battler's perspective, and
True.
Nanjo might be a culprit, accomplice rather.
It's true. That is part of your theory, true. Come on, let's all go together. In both third-rate mysteries and third-rate horrors, people who act alone tend to die first. Yeah, this game is just the same.
Officially, Natsu, he is a third-rate horror victim at the end of the first game.
Uh-huh. Theater really is third-rate. Oh, but in third-rate disaster movies and third-rate action movies, people who act alone do survive, right? Weird.
It's a very confusing arrangement of dialogue.
Even though the epitaph has already been solved, who's behind this farce?
It might be the work of this man from 19 years ago, who is thought to be Lady Lambda Delta's piece. Ah, yes, that can't be true.
In the games up until now, Beta was already stated that Kinzo has vanished, meaning that no more than 17 people exist and no 18th person exists. Now that Eric has been added, it's stated that no 19th person exists. There's no room for this man from 19 years ago to appear on the island.
So the man from 19 years ago is disguised as one of the existing humans, yes.
Even if a 19th person isn't permitted by the Reds, slipping in a 19th person is no trouble for me, no trouble for witches. Now it's getting interesting. Why don't we watch this a little longer? Still, those witches have finally started to do whatever they please on my game board, haven't they?
Didn't you know what would that would happen when you invited them?
As a witch, I have the same dislike for boredom as they do. Even the unexpected brings a kind of joy a witch expects. Very well, bring it on.
It's great that you're so eager, but things have taken a nasty turn, get it?
Indeed. Perhaps this isn't the best time to wait and see what happens next.
I know that. At this rate, Kinzo's existence will become an issue once again, and the barrier around the study won't last long.
That isn't all. Things are going to get even worse. See? Move 1, move 2, move 3, and then you're cornered. Natsuhi?
Garp whispered something into Beata's ear. Beata's mouth slowly widened into a grin.
Heck, bring everyone together is actually convenient for us. All darkness outside the range of observers belongs to us demons. This may be the only time to make that move.
Natsu is the king. She can't move far, but we cannot allow her to be taken. Let's take the initiative. If we slip up here, Natsu will be cornered. Garp, can I count on you?
I'm just... what?
What is happening? What is the move?
I mean, clearly the move is hiding Natsui in a closet for some reason, but
sure.
I'm...
It seems like a bad idea.
Because the whole thing is that this is not purgatory, this is Natsui's monologue reflecting purgatory.
So, yeah, I may have mentioned something about this when I was first pitching you this idea, and we'll talk more about this later, but like, this is the kind of crazy shit you get in Umineko, where it's like, hold on, is this the space that we're watching the game board from, or is this part of the game board? I can't actually tell. It's great. I love it.
I'm pretty confident that this is like Natsui's monologue.
Sure.
Or at least a reflection thereof.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
Of course. I blow a hole through closed room tricks, alibis, and mysteries alike. Leave it to me. I'll handle it.
Oh, bye. Garp was followed up, along with the chair she sat in, into a pitch black hole that opened in the floor and then disappeared. After that, a hole opened on the ceiling and spat just the chair back out, returning the place to the way it had been. This is becoming troublesome. I see. Against Lady Lambda Delta, even I am nothing more than a mere piece. So in the early game, I must worry more about the expansion than losing or taking pieces. I'm just no match for that person. I won't let her do that. Nazi is the final master I will serve. Know that this is a piece you'll never be allowed to take, so long as she has a contract with me, Beatrice!
Krause's room was empty. The bed was too, but massive bloodstains similar to the other crime scenes remained.
But there was no corpse.
Nope.
Then he isn't dead.
Maybe not. What's going on? Where's Nissan?
Judging by his bloodstained bed, I don't like to think about it, but we should probably assume that he was killed and had his neck cut open just like the people in this guest house.
Fucking, we're just.
It's not. I
refuse to give away points.
It doesn't sound like Ava.
Points for this.
It doesn't sound like Ava at all. And Krauser has to be one of the servants. Like. Nanjo? I have no clue.
Take Nanjo.
Okay.
Probably, judging by the amount of blood loss, it's hard to imagine that he's okay. But where did Krauser go?
We're not even
gonna know. We got a thing though.
We are not giving points away for that.
No, that's a lot of horseshit. Ryukishi, come on! Oh shit. He's missing.
Uh-huh.
You wanna read that?
Oh, is that different to the first time we got it?
I believe so.
Okay. Shimmy Kraus went missing from his personal room on the second floor of the mansion. There are large traces of blood left behind, making the situation similar to those of the other victims. He's the only victim of the first Twilight whose corpse was never witnessed.
Hmm.
I've spent so much time working on other things about Umineko this week to actually, keep track of exactly what happened.
What we're up to?
Yeah.
It's okay. Large amounts of blood stained the top of the bed, but there were no similar marks on the floor of the room. Whether Kraus had been seriously wounded and wandered off somewhere or killed and carried somewhere. They had no clue where this somewhere might be.
Tell you what, Ben, it sure is good that something's finally happened. Shout out to Hovlane.
Yeah. That was the worst. Look, I don't want to. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Nazi knew. Though Kraus had been sounding far from his best over the phone, at least he hadn't sounded like he was on the brink of death. In other words, those bloodstains had to be a setup. That might not even be blood. However, just what was that man thinking? What's this supposed to be? What the heck? So on the first Twilight, there were 6 sacrifices? Was Kraus Nissan in the habit of locking his door? We just came in without unlocking it. Yes, Kasama also had a habit of locking up. Out of this house, madam has ordered that all non-public areas be locked.
How many keys can unlock Uncle Kraus's room?
In addition to the one key Krauser has, there's the master keys.
Oh, all that stuff about keys is a pointless argument. Did you forget that Genji-san is already a victim? His master key is missing. That means all the locks in this mansion are meaningless. How boring. In other words, no clues room murders have existed or will exist in this mansion. Sheesh. This is getting to be a pretty boring mystery. Erika laughed off this murder in disappointment as though it was something she was watching on TV.
I can't understand it. Why is her world so different from ours? It's almost like she's in a separate dimension from us.
Almost like.
Almost.
Was Jessica also like this in a bed?
Yes, that's right. Just like George, her neck was cut.
Jessica! Let me be with Jessica! I haven't even seen Jessica's face yet! Jessica! But wait up, Nazi-san! The culprit might still be hiding nearby! It would be dangerous to let her be alone! Nazi flew out of the room and dashed towards the guest house this time. It was only natural. Nazi still hadn't even seen Jessica's dying face. Everyone probably thought that. Of course, even Nazi was half thinking that. The other half was a desire to shift everyone else's attention away from the study. Strange crimes had occurred, the gold had been discovered, and some relatives had even recommended Ballard to be the successor. Even in these twisted circumstances, she had to protect Kinzo's secret. If my head is going to be racked by this suffering anyway, please just let my head explode right now. That way I won't have to suffer any longer. So, everyone, for Natsu-san's sake, let's return to the guest house for the time being. Though it's not as though seeing their dead faces is going to lead to any new developments.
You even have a heart?
A heart? What's that?
Damn.
Just seeing her daughter's dead face wouldn't bring Jessica back to life, nor would it heal Natsu's anguish. On the contrary, she would probably wail, wasting a considerable amount of time before being able to think properly again. This probably sums up Erika's screwed up argument. I think this is you.
Just seeing their dying faces won't lead to any new developments?
Like hell it won't. Beato's pieces have brought about a really interesting change.
What?
We are really rapid fire jumping from scene to scene. I'd forgotten how this was. Damn.
Oh god.
It's like,
what a mess.
this scene isn't that important. Let's just jump to the next one. Let's go.
Rapid fire. What in the... Natsu flew into the cousin's room on the second floor of the guest house and was struck dumb by the bloodstained beds and the eerie magic circle which looked like it might have been drawn with the victim's blood.
And the corpses are gone in 3, 2, 1.
Where's Jessica?
It is.
Yeah, there it is. They're missing. Where's Jessica? Where is she? Jessica! In that bed. A bed where?
George, where is he?
Wait a sec, what the hell is going on here?
Is this meant to be tricking me anymore?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. The thing is,
Spin the chessboard. Spin that fucking chessboard.
when we came into episode 5, the title line, and I'll flash it up on screen, was what could possibly fool you now? And I'm not sure whether that was meant to be it's probably meant to be all of the above, and I think we've discussed it before.
Yep.
But I'm still not sure as to whether I should take it to be that this episode is meant to be easier and it's more about something else, or if it's meant to be oh, that theory you came up with? Fuck you!
I don't know. That's totally up to you to figure out.
As I think we've discussed before in recording episode 5, it's probably all of the above. Basically targeted at the various different people who'd be at various different stages through the story.
Yep.
But, I don't know, it's just different.
It is very different. I mean, yeah, I think definitely that if you feel confident in your theory, if you think nothing can shake it, it might be worth trying to figure out why, why this is a thing.
You've seen half of what I've been doing.
I know. I have.
We're working on it.
Yeah. What the hell's going on here?
We made sure to lock this room when we left, right? We can now be certain the culprit has the master key. Once again, my reasoning was correct.
Who cares about that? Where did they go? Where did everyone's corpses go?
Nice trick.
Hey, look, it's magic, right? That Garpus with Beato hit the corpses somewhere with magic.
All of us moved together. So you're trying to say that everyone had alibis?
Your reasoning goes like this, right? The 4 of them weren't actually dead, they were just playing dead. Then, when no one else was around, they hid somewhere. Am I right?
You don't intend to proclaim any of their deaths in red now, do you?
Of course I won't. Unlike that dull Beato, I don't give her out red for free.
In that case, I'll be glad to use the blue truth. I can think of many ways to work around something of this level.
Sure, go ahead. Blue truth time!
Woo! Here's the first one I can think of. The victims aren't actually dead. They pretended to be dead, then secretly hid themselves somewhere. After all, you haven't proclaimed anyone's deaths with the red truth.
Even though you've been shown their gaping wounds, you're still trying that one on principle as long as there's no red, right? But don't get your hopes up. I'm not giving you a freebie red truth. After all, I just have to deny it all at once at the end of the game at 2400 on October the 5th. And the Witcher's side has such a big advantage. It'd all be over now if that stupid Balor was my opponent, but you aren't like that, right, Byrne?
Of course. Anyone could have thought of that silly move. I have more. Second one. Kraus carried the corpses off and hid them. You've acted it out so it looks like you've kidnapped Kraus and locked him up somewhere, but he might actually be free. Kraus has no alibi. Kraus hid their corpses.
Yeah, that's right. It's not like I proclaimed that Kraus was being confined with the red truth. You know how they say you've got to confuse your friends before you can confuse your enemies? So you lied to Natsu, making it seem like he'd been captured? Any others?
Third one, the corpses were different people in the first place. There were substitute corpses that closely resembled the victims. George and the others were hiding from the beginning and later cleared up those substitute corpses. Those corpses were dead from the very beginning, so they don't count towards the number of people on the island. It's a good theory.
That's messed up. So even though all those people gathered around and saw the dead faces, none of them realized that they were substitute corpses?
Since you haven't used the red truth, there's a possibility that everyone misidentified all of the corpses. Though if you feel like repeating, no one would misidentify a person, I'll withdraw that claim immediately, okay?
No way! I'm not falling for that. The red truth's only useful if you use it with flash, right? I'll take a single truth out of a large pile of blue and smash it with red. And the rest of the blue truths will be swallowed up by darkness before you can find out whether they were right or wrong. That darkness is the world of witches. You won't be given any truth at all.
This girl acts like she's stupid, but she's not bad at all. She'll never rise to provocation. Looks like she understands the darkness of magic even better than the true game master, Beato. And apparently Garp also understood that well. That move of hiding the corpses, it was pretty effective for both Lambda and Beato. In any event, I've thought up a full 3 theories about the disappearing corpses. 3 blue wedges for a single riddle. That doesn't mean she can just deny one of those 3. Unless she eliminates all 3 wedges, this riddle has been defeated. That's the ironclad rule of witch hunting. A single wedge isn't nearly enough. Only vampires die from a single stake. Compared to witches, vampires are weak. True witches won't die unless you stab them all over with stakes, right? It's the same with assassins, isn't it? It's only in Japanese manga that you see assassins kill their targets with a single, perfect shot. Real assassins will empty out an entire magazine's worth of bullets. That's how you do things, right? Of course it's the same for me. But it's this girl we're talking about. She might slice it all in 2 with a single swipe of the red. By simply letting off a few quick lines confirming their deaths and Krause's innocence with the red, she can remove all 3 of my wedges. Well, that's okay. When the red truth does come out, I just need to follow along with it and stab it full of blue wedges again. This is how a game of witches plays out. It's so fun. Bella's sluggish battles always piss me off, so I'm loving this. Yeah, I understand, Lambda. The first Twilight is just the beginning of the beginning. It's just a skirmish, right? Wouldn't have it any other way. I'll make you lose pathetically and cry out in regret as you crawl and scratch at the floor. I've almost forgotten the pleasure of grabbing that cute hair of yours and wiping the floor with it as I roll around laughing.
Okay, so thinking. As just a spitball guess, what it's gonna be is that they were alive,
Sure.
left the room, and were then killed.
Okay.
Don't know by who, but considering just how all over the place Lambda's playing this game,
Yep.
I feel like it's gonna be a lot of fucking stupid solutions like that.
She's pretty all over the place, certainly.
Yeah.
The servant waiting room in the mansion had once again gone silent. There lay Genji's corpse, which had been covered completely with a blanket. In the ceiling of this cramped room, a pitch black hole appeared. Captivating legs sprouted out.
Captivating
legs. That's a fucking line. And Garp floated downwards. Yo.
Sorry, Genji. You probably want to enjoy your eternal sleep right there, but that's not going to be possible. Please disappear from this place so you may serve Natsui, the final head of the Ishimiya family, even after death.
Garp stripped off the blanket as she said this to Genji, who was sleeping peacefully. Then she stared at the deep wound in his neck.
That's a nice cut. Must have been made with a single slice. Is anyone who's capable of this manifested yet? Not good. I can't think of anyone decent who might be capable of this.
Goes without saying, but witches are capable of summoning beings with a strength proportional to their own ability. The great Lady Lambda Delta called that being here as a trump card, 19th person. Even optimistically speaking, this is on par with... Oh, it is you.
Even optimistically speaking, this is on par with Runave and me.
Half a point.
Yeah, half a point.
A pitch black hole opened up on the bed, and Genji disappeared as though the bed had swallowed him up. Just like the 4 in the guest house, Genji's corpse was also hidden in some unknown place. It was a place that no one could find, located neither within this world nor the next. No longer would anyone be able to find their corpses. No longer would anyone be able to confirm their deaths. She carried Genji's corpse to this place of endless silence, where it would never be disturbed.
When there's no corpse, a person goes missing. When a person's missing, people both suspect that they might have been the culprit and suspect that they might be victims. Truly like the inside of a cat box. Darkness inside of cat boxes that'll never be opened is where we demons and witches reside. You're a bit too slow, Miss Great Detective.
Garp licked her lips and gulped.
I wonder why Gobsumar is going around hiding corpses. I don't know, but Gobsumar's pretty cool. She's just so awesome. Don't be stupid, what happened to standing guard? The humans are returning from the guest house. Gobsumar. Yes, let's disperse. It should be enough to give Natsui a way out.
Garp jumped into a pitch black hole that had opened near her feet. Mammon said, I'm going too, and jumped in. Followed by Asmo, who said, me too, and hopped in, giggling. As Satan hesitated over what to do, the hole closed.
And you call yourselves members of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory? How childish. So stupid.
Satan went bright red and got angry all by herself, then turned into gold butterflies and disappeared. It seems Garp has succeeded in moving the 5 corpses. Well done. However, the next part is tricky. They will probably be somewhat surprised at the disappearance of Genji's corpse, but their interest will most likely swing back to Kinzo's study after that. There are 2 keys to the study. It's fortunate that Nazi is in possession of both. If she had left one with Genji, it probably would have fallen into Lady Lambda Delta's hands by now. It seems that Lady Lambda Delta has no intention of hiding Kinzo's death. Apparently, she plans to fight while ignoring the multi-thousand ramparts that you have created. This has become a strange triangular confrontation. We are all each other's enemies, but we will sometimes join forces without notice. In a 3-way fight, just when you think it's 2 against 1, it suddenly becomes 1 against 2. That's what it's like. That Chinese battle royale. Don't you think it's like that Records of the 3 Kingdoms thing? Oh, the Longzhong plan. That's quite a sophisticated analogy to hear coming from you. There were 3 empires in Records of the 3 Kingdoms, weren't there? Wei, Wu, and Shu, right? That sounds just like us. So which empire went out in the end? The power that gained control in the end was the Jin dynasty. The 3 empires you mentioned were all destroyed. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought one of the empires won. Didn't the Wei have an overwhelming advantage? They had the position of emperor stolen from them, and their empire was subjugated and destroyed. Sima clan, a noble family that Cha Cha invited in as advisors, eventually gained central control in a power struggle and took over the country. So they were invited as advisors and then seized control. Very interesting. As Lady Lambda Delta.
Pardon me. The humans have confirmed the disappearance of Genji's corpse in the servant waiting room. They have started moving towards Lord Goldsmith's study. Riche. They're coming.
Let them come. The humans and the witches of certainty and miracles. If this is a 3-way fight, then we've got humans, witches, and... what should we be called? The thing we're protecting for the time being is Kinzo's phantom. Are we phantoms then? Things are very strange.
This is such a mess.
I know. 3-way fight between Beto, Lambda, and Ben?
And the 4th unexisting player wins.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, this is fun.
So, Battler's taking control of the game board, I guess.
You think so?
Clearly.
Maybe.
I don't feel like we'd have such a obscure... I mean, it's probably not as obscure in Japan, right?
It's probably not that obscure, no, not at all.
But, I mean, listen. Cards on the table, Battler's taking the game board for himself.
Maybe. We'll have to see what happens in the next episode. Chapter, whatever we're calling these.